And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Wok on Fire. This is from Green Couch Games. This is about cooking ingredients in a wok and making yourself a delicious stir fry, which is a marvelous thing, and I'm thinking about eating it right now, and I shouldn't because it's time to talk about the game. It's a very simple, easy game to play. Here's how you do it. Each player is given a spatula, which is a card that you have here, and a card here that kind of gives you the turn sequence and also tells you how the different ingredients score. You're going to put essentially half the ingredients in the middle of the table face down with the rest set aside, and you're kind of scattering them around. This is the pot, and it's not an exact line, but the pot is essentially a circle here, and you're going to use your cards here to keep track of where that pot is. Any cards that fall out of the pot are usually not able to be gotten. Now on your turn, the first thing that you will do is you're going to stir fry. So you're going to do two different stir fry actions, and that's where you put your spatula underneath some cards and flip them over. You need to flip over at least one. If you don't, you keep going until you get them. So you do that twice. All right, so then after you've done that, you're going to pick two ingredients. Now you can only pick up face-up ingredients that you have. You're not supposed to disturb other things, and you need to see the center circle. So for example, I could take this one here because I can see the circle. I don't know what it is, but I could decide to take it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take the rice, and I'm going to take this onion because I know what that is. So I've gotten some rice and some onions. Then, if there's any cards left in this deck, which there is, you're going to take two of those and chop them into the bowl. Basically, you put them in your hand and chop them like that. Hopefully they don't fall outside the pot. And if they happen to fall right side up, well, whatever. It doesn't matter what sides happen. You're going to keep going until this is all in the middle somehow by players putting them out there. Then each player has one last turn, and then you're going to score. Now, scoring is where things are going to go all over the place because every ingredient is going to score differently. And some ingredients will affect how you do things. For example, chickens are worth 2 points each. But when you pick up chickens from the pot, you are required to pick up all of them as one action. So if you see three chickens, you get them all. All right, pork is worth 3 points. And whoever has the most pork at the end of the game gets a bonus of 5 points. Shrimp is just 4 points each. Shrimp is pretty good, as we all know. You already saw onions. The more onions you have, the more points they're worth. One onion is worth 1 point, but if you have 5 onions, that's worth 35 points. Let's see, mushrooms. Mushrooms are worth nothing unless you get 3 of them, in which case they're worth 18 points because fried mushrooms are delicious. Garlic lets you triple one other meat, and when you take a garlic on your turn, you get to do another stir fry action. Let's see, peppers. Peppers are horrifically bad. They're actually worth minus 5 points. And if you see a pepper, you are required to take it even if the pepper falls outside the pot. You're normally not allowed to get them there. Broccoli is worth 5 points. Also, whoever has the most broccoli loses 10 points. So while broccoli is really handy, you don't want to have too much broccoli, although that makes no sense to me because there's never too much broccoli. Chili peppers are 10 points, but only if you combine them with the horrible green pepper. And then you got the rice and you got noodles, and these are worth 25 or 15 points when they're combined with a meat, vegetable, and a condiment, which are by the different colors. And again, you can see that on the scoring card here as to what each of them does. So players are going to add up their points. When you have these different things, they can only be part of one thing. You can't basically add the shrimp to noodles and to rice. And the only thing where they would count for multiple things is the majority, like who has the most broccoli, etc. Most points, winner of the game. So there you go. It's a very simple game. As you can see, the artwork is colorful. The whole game is going to revolve around, hey, it's fun to take the spatulas and flip the ingredients over. which requires some more skill than you might think. That chopping the cards out of your hand, I can't tell you how many times they went out of the pot with people on that one. You got to make sure you learn how to do that. But kids are really going to like this one, right? It's a great family game to get them together, to flip things over. That's fun. You're actually using a card as a spatula in the manner that makes sense. And so you flip it over, you get it. Now, my one negative about the game is that I feel like, hey, it's neat, different things score different ways. I'm perfectly fine with that things score differently. That's fine. In fact, there's a similar scoring game called Sushi Go where that happens on it. But I think they really missed the mark here by not putting some of the scoring information on the cards themselves. Now, yes, each person has their own card here, and that's all well and good. But why not just put that shrimp is 4 points on the shrimp? It just seems like that would have been an easy thing to do. Or that, how many, you need 3 mushrooms to get 18 points, etc. The other thing is, the game scoring, I believe, is slightly more complex than it should be for how simple the game is. Like, you must grab a green pepper if you see them, and you must grab chickens if you see them, and if you grab a green pepper, then you get to flip another thing over and go again. And it's just a bunch of little rules that you're constantly saying, okay, wait a minute, if I grab that one, what happens? And if I do this, what happens? It's not a big deal, right? I think the game is still fine for families and all, but I think there's just a tad bit too much complexity for a game where you are essentially taking a card and flipping over ingredients. And I would have just put them all have different scores and points, and you're trying to collect things. As it is, there isn't that many different ingredients out there, so you're usually just going to buy the thing that gives you the best, or not buy, but take the cards that give you the best thing. So the game comes down to a couple things. It's fast. I mean, this is a very quick game, and it's silly dexterity fun, using the cards to flip and then chopping cards out of your hand. And I think that's where most people are going to play. There's not a lot of strategy. You just grab the best stuff you have. You might not always know what cards do, but these cards are helpful, and it will, once you play it a couple times, that stuff goes away. This is definitely a family game. I think gamers, for the most part, will get bored with it after a play or two, but it's entertaining, and it fits kind of a niche of, hey, this is something that people understand, flipping, and it also gives you that little dexterity, but at the same time, set collection. All that in a little box, walk on fire. Dice Tower Judgment, family approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Shut the door.